Welcome back to the Deep Dive. It is Tuesday, January 27th, 2026.
Already.
I know. If you're looking at your calendar and just wondering where the first month of the year went, you are definitely not alone.
Not at all.
It feels like we just rang in the new year, and yet here we are, staring down
SMS
February.
Novel. If you
It
want
creates
to
a bit of
prompt,
whiplash,
please
doesn't
do
it?
so in
Just
the
the
DM
pace
or
of
chat.
It really does.
And honestly, looking at the stack of research we have on the desk for today, fast might be a woefully inadequate word to describe what's happening.
Yeah.
We are looking at a convergence today that I don't think we have ever seen before on this show.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Usually, we like to keep things tidy. We kick a lane.
Right.
We do a deep dive on, say, the latest breakthroughs in solid-state batteries, or we look at the geopolitics of the Arctic. Something focused.
One topic, really drill down.
Today is messy, but in the best possible way. We are looking at breaking national news, we're looking at professional sports, and we're looking at a radical, and I mean radical, new technological philosophy that, it completely challenges how we interact with the physical world.
It's a kaleidoscope. It really is. We have sources from SMS Novel Films, specifically a broadcast by their host, Jomo Johnson. And we also have this really dense, fascinating technical explainer on something they call the universal plug.
Right?
And on the surface, these things don't look like they belong in the same folder at all. You have Border Patrol firing over here.
Yeah.
You have Shedder Sanders making the Pro Bowl. And then you have this manifesto about AI and human hybrids.
But there is a thread. There is always a thread.
There is.
And I want to find that thread by starting with a question, a frustration, really, that I think everyone feels. We are living in 2026. I have an app on my phone that can, compose a symphony in the style of Mozart if I ask it to. I have an AI that can pass the bar exam with a higher score than, 99% of law school graduates?
The capabilities are staggering.
Yeah.
I mean, in the digital realm, we are basically gods.
Right. But here's the problem. Here's the paradox. If I need to know with 100% certainty if my local bodega actually has 2% milk on the shelf right this second,
Right, yeah.
or if I need someone to physically go pick up my dry cleaning because I am stuck in a recording booth, the AI is useless.
Completely useless.
They can write a poem about the milk, it can generate a photorealistic image of the dry cleaning, but it cannot do anything.
You've just hit on the great paradox of our time. In the industry, we're starting to call this the AI paradox, or sometimes the execution gap.
The execution gap, I like that.
We have achieved brilliant simulation. The machine can simulate the conversation, the plan, the image, anything. But the execution, the ability to affect the physical atoms of the world.
It's terrible.
It's terrible.
It's like having a genius friend who gives you incredible life advice, but then just refuses to get off the couch to help you move a sofa.
That is the perfect analogy. It really is.
Yeah.
And that frustration you're feeling. That is the starting point for our deep dive today.
Okay, so where are we going with this?
We're going to unpack two major concepts presented by this source material. First, we're going to look at this universal plug idea, which is a new hybrid model attempting to fix that digital cage we're all stuck in.
The digital cage, okay. And second?
And second, we are looking at the witness economy. This is coming from that news broadcast we listened to.
Right, from Jomo Johnson.
Exactly. And it's this idea that news, headlines about Border Patrol's NBA scores, Kanye West, it shouldn't just be something we consume passively while eating breakfast.
So it's not just information anymore.
He's arguing that every headline is a prompt for us to take physical action or to create something new.
And that's the thread.
And that is the thread tying this all together. Whether we're talking about the tech or the news, the shift here is away from automation, where machines replace us, and toward augmentation.
Augmentation, so helping us.
The recurring theme in all these documents is we all have a part to play. The human is not obsolete. The human is the missing link.
I like that. That feels less dystopian than our usual AI episodes.
It's a different take, for sure.
So let's not waste any more time. Let's unpack this.
Let's dive in.
I want to start with the technology because I think we need to define the problem before we can even begin to look at the solution. The source material.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
It resonated with me immediately.
This is
AI
Johnson
fatigue.
from
It is so
SMS
real.
It's
Novel.
real, right? I feel it every time I open a
I
chat
am
bot.
just so thankful
Do you think
this
the
morning
average
for
person
God's
is
grace,
feeling
but
this
so
yet,
thankful
or is
I
it
get to
still
share
just, tech
kind of some of the
insiders?
I think it's
changes
universal
and what's
now.
been
Absolutely.
going on.
Think about
at
the promise
SMS
we were all
Novel.
sold 3 or 4 years ago.
So
Yeah.
We were
those
told
of you
that AI
don't
would be
know,
this magic
I started
butler, this
SMS
perfect assistant.
Novel
But the reality is the fatigue of the endless loop.
The loop, yes.
You call a customer service line, you get a bot. It understands the words you're saying. The syntax is perfect, but it doesn't understand the context.
Zero context.
It can't deviate from the script. It has no agency. It has no common sense.
It's the, I'm sorry I didn't quite catch that loop, but just faster and with better grammar.
Exactly. And the source material on this universal plug
now
really breaks down why this is happening.
AI,
and it isn't just that the code isn't good enough yet. It identifies three specific technical limitations that current AI, even now in 2026, still really struggles with.
Okay, what are they?
The first one is the difference between simulation and execution.
Right, we touched on this with the dry cleaning example, but break it down for us technically. Why is there a wall there? What's the barrier?
Okay, so think about planning a surprise party. And AI is incredible at the simulation part.
Okay.
You can tell it. Plan a vegan birthday party for 20 people in downtown Chicago. And it will draft the invites. It will design a menu. It will even suggest venues based on Yelp reviews and availability calendars.
It does all the thinking. It organizes all the information.
It manipulates symbols. That's what it's good at. But here's the execution gap. Can that AI physically call the caterer and negotiate the price when the caterer says, hey, avocados are expensive this week?
No. No way.
Can it drive to the venue to see if the air conditioning is actually working or if it smells like damp carpet?
It definitely can't smell a carpet.
Yeah.
And it can't look the caterer in the eye.
We also do 20 music albums.
It cannot. It is trapped behind the screen. It's a world-class thinker,
and we
a
basically
brilliant
kind of
planner, but it is not an actor in the physical world.
It can't cross that last mile.
It cannot traverse the last mile of reality. That is the first problem. And the second issue is what the source calls the static data problem.
This is the idea that AI is always looking backwards. Right? It's trained on old stuff.
Precisely. We have to remember how these large language models actually work. They're trained on massive chunks of data, the corpus, but that training takes time.
A lot of time and a lot of money.
A huge amount. So even if a model was updated yesterday, it isn't now. It is always a snapshot of the past. AI has no eyes, no ears, no sense of touch.
So you kind of can share your different ideas.
The immediate unfolding context of a situation unless a human physically types it into a prompt.
So if there's a traffic jam that started 5 minutes ago because a truck overturned, the AI doesn't know. Not unless that data has been fed into a database it has access to.
Right.
It's not looking out the window.
It is flying completely blind in the present tense.
And so
it can predict what a traffic jam looks like based on past data, but it cannot see this specific traffic jam.
That's a huge limitation.
And the third problem, which is arguably the most dangerous, is the black box problem.
Okay, we hear this term a lot, the black box. What does it mean in this context?
20 music albums.
But the source material highlights why it's such a barrier to real-world integration. We see the input, that's the question you ask it, and we see the output, the answer it gives.
Right.
But the reasoning, how did you get there? That is often a complete mystery hidden within billions of parameters and weights.
And that's fine for some
so it
things.
gives me 20
if you're dealing with a low-stakes situation,
ideas and albums,
like
and I kind of can
writing a
just
poem
break it
or
down as much
generating
as
a picture,
I want.
that's fine. Who cares how it got there? But if you're dealing with a legal situation or a medical diagnosis or managing a crisis,
you can't rely on a black box.
You cannot. You need accountability. You need to know why a decision was made.
And the good thing about
there
this,
has to be a chain
chatbot,
of reasoning.
So we have these brilliant
SMS
machines that can't act, can't see the present, and can't explain themselves. That's a pretty damning report card for 2026.
It explains the fatigue.
So
it
here
really
it gives me the 10 songs.
We've reached the ceiling of what purely
good.
digital AI can do for us in the physical world.
Okay, so what is the solution? Because the source material introduces this universal plug, and I have to be honest, when I first read the description, it sounded it sounded a little analog. It sounded like we were going backward.
It is surprisingly analog,
Yeah.
but the source argues that's the feature, not the bug. The universal plug isn't the faster algorithm. It's not a better model.
Young adult,
it is a
finding my
system.
voice, romance,
The source describes it as a bridge between the digital and the physical.
And so
it acknowledges that the only thing that can navigate the messy, unpredictable physical world effectively is a human.
So walk us through the workflow. If I use this universal plug, what actually happens? Am I downloading an app?
You can, but the source emphasizes accessibility. It actually mentions an 800 number.
An 800 number? Like a hotline from the 90s.
So
like a hotline. It's a total throwback, but think about why.
Once you
it removes the interface barrier completely. You aren't coding, you aren't navigating a complex UI, you're just talking.
Okay, so I call it. Who answers? Is it an AI voice?
No. you are immediately
generate.
connected to a live
So
human
the
host,
unique thing about the
a
Hacks
real
AI,
person.
which
And
kind
this
of
is
saves
crucial.
time, effort, and energy,
Think of them
which
as your
is
personal
unique,
quarterback.
is that
This
it
isn't
will
a call center
create the
script reader in a
library
basement somewhere reading off a flowchart.
of trailers.
This is a trained
It'll
problem
create a
solver.
And
trailer
this human
for
host
each
has
film.
access to the AI.
It will
They
create
have access to all the multi-model AIs, the databases,
soundtrack. It'll
the
create
analytical
the book for
tools.
each
They use
film.
those tools to form a
And
plan
then
based on your
uniquely,
request.
it will
So the
not
human
create the
is
full
driving the
film until
AI,
it's
not the
purchased.
other way around.
Because
the human
every
is the
single
pilot.
film
Correct. The AI is the co-pilot,
custom
crunching the
generated
data,
for that
running the
person.
simulations.
So the person will
But here's the kicker,
buy the film,
and this is
and
the
they'll be
universal
asked
plug
questions
part.
about how they want to
Once the
view
plan
it,
is made,
what
they don't just
rating,
email you a leap of links and say
kind of the
good
tone
luck.
of the film.
They dispatch a
and then it'll
real
generate.
person.
It takes about
We
an
call them a
hour to
response
generate.
partner
And
to
they get
execute the
film.
plan
So
physically.
whenever
A real human
someone
being
orders
shows
it,
up at my
it
door
generates
or
it
at the store
on
or
demand.
wherever.
And
A
that's
real
the
human
Hacks
being shows up.
AI
And the source
difference,
mentions that
where
this
you're
can be
able to
live streamed,
create
so you have total
an
transparency. You
entire
can literally
library, and it's
watch the work
generated
getting done on your phone.
on
I have to play
demand.
devil's
And that's the
advocate here for
unique
a
thing. That's
second.
how we're able
Isn't
to
this
offer
just
kind
a
of
fancy concierge
this unique
service, or
service.
isn't
And
this
so
just task
I
rabbit
want to
with
encourage
extra
people
steps?
to
I mean,
check
we've had people we can
SMS
hire to
Novel
stand in
out.
lines or pick up
Again,
groceries for a
it's
decade.
20 films.
Why is this being framed
30-minute
as some kind of
films. Each film
technological
is 30 minutes,
breakthrough?
20
That is a
books,
fair question,
ebooks,
and it's an important
and
distinction.
20 music albums.
The difference
20 music
lies in
albums
the
as
integration and the cognitive
And the unique
offloading.
things
What do you mean?
are
With something like
when
TaskRabbit,
you'll have your own
you are hiring a person
channel,
to do a task you
platform,
define.
page.
You have
People
to
can
do the
download,
thinking. You
stream,
have to say,
watch,
go to store
get your
X,
books.
buy item
Every
Y,
product
and
is
bring it
sold
to
for
Z.
$9.99.
You're
The
the
book is sold
project
for
manager.
I do all the planning.
Exactly.
The music album,
With
each
the
music
universal
album
plug,
is sold for
the
$9.99.
human host is using
and the movies are
high-level
sold for
AI to do the
$9.99. So it's
strategy
also
and
can be
logistics
used like
for
as a
you. You
fundraiser
just
or way to
provide the
support a
intent.
particular
So I just say,
mission and
I need
things
my
like
dry
that.
cleaning picked up before 5
We have
p.m.
same day royalty
and they
payout.
figure out
So
the
when
how,
someone
the
purchases
where, the
it,
who.
purchases the
Exactly.
book,
It's the 4 pillars, the
or
expert
film,
analysis and the
or
source
music,
mentions. You have human
we
judgment,
pay you
that's
out
the
the
host.
same day
Right,
every
nuance and
evening.
common
That's the
sense.
unique
Then you
thing.
have
is you don't have to
multi-model
wait.
AI, that's the analytical
Hacks
horsepower.
AI generates
Third
custom
is
film
real-time
content
execution,
instantly
that's the
upon
response
purchase.
partner on the ground.
So that is
The
our
physical
unique
action.
And
thing.
fourth is live
that,
transparency, which
our
is the
films are
stream for
custom.
accountability,
They're
the
custom,
closed loop.
based upon a
TaskRabbit is
person's
just a
preference
marketplace
and
for
mood.
labor. This is a system for
We have a
problem
library.
solving.
The source
for
gave some
$99 per
examples of
year.
this that I found really
Includes
funny,
film,
but also
trailers, art, 20
actually
film.
kind of
Each
useful.
film
The
show or
DMV
documentary sells for
one.
Oh, yes,
$9.99.
the
Includes
universal
the
pain
ebooks,
of the
as I
Department of
mentioned
Motor
before. So,
Vehicles.
I mean, it
yeah,
seems
this
like
is a
no
really,
amount
really
of
cool
technology
thing, and
can
I'm
fix the
hoping
DMV
that
line.
It's the final
people
boss
will
of
check this
bureaucracy.
out.
The source
And
explicitly
just,
says
also,
you could hire a response
SMS
partner
Novel does
to physically
more than
stand
that,
in
as
a
you can
long
see,
line
a
at the
lot
DMV
more
for you.
watch and
Which
create
an
movies.
AI
We have
cannot
live
do.
prompts, which
An
basically
AI
is a
can fill out
prompt
the form
that
online,
activates a person,
can help you
a real
schedule the
person doing
appointment,
something.
but it cannot occupy physical space
Finished
for
books,
3
you can do
hours on a
complete
Tuesday.
finished books.
I would pay
Again, there's
good
no
money for that.
limitation
I
on our
really would.
chatbot.
But there was another one
You
that
can
struck me
shop
as much
by
more
prompt.
modern.
You can put in a
Body
request
double.
for an
This
item
one is fascinating
in the
from
prompt
a
in chat,
psychological
and it'll
perspective.
give you a
It is.
The
potential
example was
ETA
hiring a
of
body double to
delivery
stay
and
on a video call
cost.
with you,
It is
just to keep you
amazing.
focused on your work.
So like a
Instant
digital
2-hour delivery. You
babysitter.
can book deliveries
proctor.
to
You're
the
an accountability
prompt.
partner.
Yeah.
On demand
We know that
meetups,
body doubling,
which
just
is
having
connected
another
to
person
Eventbrite.
present,
So
even
there's
silently while you
in-person
work,
events throughout
is a
different
massive
cities.
productivity hack
Event and
for
workout
people
buddy,
with
which is
ADHD
really
or
cool.
even
You
just
can
general
send the
procrastination
prompt to
issues.
have somebody work
An
out with
AI
you via video
chatbot
chat or in
can
person,
ping
and
you
then
every
some
10
of our
minutes
events.
with a
So,
reminder.
yeah, this is really
But
cool.
having a live
the way
human
that
watching
the
you
prompt
work,
by person
that
works
changes the
is
dynamic
basically you put in a
completely.
prompt,
It uses social
special
pressure,
prompt, besides
a
just
very human
generation,
biological response
and
as a
it'll give you
productivity
a
tool.
quote. So
That's
let's say
brilliant.
you
And then there
want
was
to
the
create
personal
a
tour
full
guide
2-hour
example.
Not
movie. You
a
just put that in
pre-recorded
by
audio
prompt,
guide you listen to on
and
your
it'll give
phone,
you
Yeah.
a quote
but a local
of
response
time,
partner who meets you,
how long it'll take,
shows you
cost,
around a
things
city
like
you've
that.
never
So,
been to,
yeah,
and
this
maybe
is
takes
really,
you to the
really
spots
cool. You can
that aren't
actually
on the tourist
ship.
map.
You can say,
The
hey, I
real
need a
places.
package
It's really
shipped.
interesting
I need it
because when we
delivered.
usually talk about
You can send
AI
that
on this
by
show, we
prompt.
talk
You can
about job
book
destruction, we talk
meetings.
about the redundancy crisis.
Again,
The robots are coming for our
person to
jobs.
prompt
That's
a
the standard
person
narrative.
is the
But
unique
this
thing
model,
with Hacks AI.
it actually
So
sounds like
I'm
it's
hoping people
creating
check this out.
jobs.
I think
That
it's
is
a
a
really,
crucial
really
insight
cool
from
thing.
the text, and I think it's the most important part. This isn't about replacement.
It's great.
It's about
And so
augmentation.
I like
The source
this
argues
because it not only
this
allows you to kind
creates
of
an
generate and do
entire
some of the regular
ecosystem
basic AI
of
stuff, which is
human-centered
cool.
work.
But
You have the live execution
prompt a
hosts
person
managing the
actually allows you
strategy.
to
That's a
connect
high-skill
with real
cognitive job.
creators and people
And then you
who are
have the
connected to these
city-based response
LLMs,
partners
these large language
doing the
models
physical
that
tasks.
actually generate
That's a
content
flexible
even
gig
faster
economy
than I
job,
could do it.
but with a
So,
whole layer
yeah,
of
guys,
AI
check it out,
support and logistics handled for
smsnovel.com. I
them.
hope
So
you
it
guys
values the
appreciate the
human
work that
element, the ability to be
is being
somewhere and do
done.
something.
It values it
And,
in a
have
way
great
that
day.
the pure digital economy often forgets. It's capitalizing on the one thing AI can't do.
Be human.
Precisely. It turns being human into a premium service.
So we have this technology, the universal plug, that bridges the gap between digital thought and physical action. But what I love about today's source stack is that it doesn't stop there.
No, it doesn't.
It takes this philosophy of the human in the loop and applies it to something completely different. The news.
This is where we shift to the broadcast from Jomo K. Johnson at SMS Novel Films. This is dated today, January 27th, 2026. And the vibe here is, it's urgency. It's not just reporting, it's a call to arms.
The concept here is the digital witness. And the core idea is that news isn't just information, it's a prompt.
I love that framing. Headlines as prompts. Think about how we consume news now. You scroll, you get angry or happy, you maybe share it, and then you move on.
It's totally passive.
It's consumption.
You're just a receptacle for information.
And Jomo K. Johnson is arguing that this passivity is a waste. He's saying that every headline is raw material. It's an opportunity.
Let's look at the lead story from the broadcast to see how this works in practice. And it's a heavy story. It's about the border.
Right. The headline is the removal or firing of Greg Bovino, the chief patrol agent of the El Centro sector.
And the context here is specific to the current administration. The source mentions a zero-tolerance restructuring under the new border czar, Tom Homan.
It's a classic institutional conflict, a political power play. You have the old guard Bovino, the career official who knows the institutional protocols, versus the centralized authority Homan and the administration who want rapid top-down change.
The source frames it as a purge.
It does. And it notes that search volumes for Bovino hit 500,000. So people are paying close attention to this.
Now, normally, a news anchor would just tell you that, right? Maybe bring on a pundit from each side to argue about it and then say, stay tuned for more.
The standard playbook.
But Jomo K. Johnson does something completely different here. He doesn't tell you what to think. He tells you to make something.
He pivots immediately to creation. He says, don't just get mad or happy about this. Don't just tweet about it. Use it.
He directs listeners to smsnovel.com, and he talks about their HAX AI system.
Right. And the pitch is this. Take this situation, the firing of a border chief, the political intrigue, and type a prompt into our system to generate a political thriller or a documentary outline based on the known facts.
That is so unique. And frankly, it's a little jarring at first. It's treating a national security crisis as raw material for art.
It is jarring, but think about the agency it gives the listener. It's a fundamental shift in power. Instead of feeling helpless about a government decision you can't influence,
You're invited to engage with it.
you're invited to simulate it, to explore it. The source suggests you could write a script about the moral dilemmas involved. What does it feel like to be that agent caught between his conscience and his direct orders?
So the tool allows you to step into the shoes of the people in the news. You get to explore the humanity behind the headline.
Exactly. It transforms the listener from a passive observer into an active interpreter. You aren't just consuming the narrative that the network gives you. You are using these AI tools to explore the narrative for yourself. You become the author.
It's democratizing the narrative. You don't need to wait for Hollywood to make the movie about the 2026 border shakeup 3 years from now.
You can write the outline this morning.
And potentially monetize it. I mean, that's the subtext here, right? Don't just watch the news. Own the story.
That's absolutely the subtext. And they apply the same logic to sports, which I think is an even easier sell for most people.
For sure. The sports section of this broadcast was absolutely stacked.
It was. We've got the NFL Pro Bowl and a bunch of NBA action.
Let's start with Shutter Sanders.
Selected for the 2026 Pro Bowl in just his sophomore season. That is a massive achievement.
It really is. And the source leans heavily into the narrative here. It's not just about the stats. It's the intersection of family legacy Coach Prime, his father, Deion Sanders, and his own individual excellence.
And the public is eating it up. The source notes there were over 100,000 searches for him. He's a certified superstar.
But again, look at the pivot. The broadcast isn't just saying, good job, Shadar. It isn't just reciting his quarterback rating. It's telling the listener, you can do this too.
The slogan they use is, earn while you create. They direct people to smsnovel.com. Start.
And they're positioning athletes not just as players, but as brand storytellers.
Right. And the argument is, if Shadir can own his narrative, if he can build his brand, why can't you?
But wait, I'm not an NFL quarterback. How does this apply to me?
Well, the call to action is for listeners to launch their own sports reality shows or documentaries. They're encouraging people to take their local sports footage.
Oh, I see.
Maybe you're filming your kid's high school football game or a pickup basketball game at the Y or just the local rec league. and use the platform to monetize it.
So it's saying the next great sports journalist isn't at ESPN. They're sitting on their couch right now with a phone.
Or sitting on the bleachers.
Right. It's saying, hey, you have a 4K cinema camera in your pocket. You have the AI tools to edit and script and add music via SMS Novel. Go cover the game. Tell the story.
It fits perfectly with the NBA recap, too. We had the Lakers versus the Bulls.
And the Blazers versus the Celtics.
Yes. And with the Bulls, the source talks about a Chicago resurgence.
I have been waiting years to say that on this show.
I know you have.
Yeah.
And on the other side, the Celtics continuing their dominance with Jaylen Brown and Peyton Pritchard.
Sure.
But the takeaway from the source wasn't just about the scores. It described these games as community events.
Which implies they are content gold mines.
Exactly. If you are there in the arena, you are a witness. If you capture that buzzer beater from your seat or that incredible fan reaction or just the general vibe of the arena, you are creating value. You should be documenting it.
It's blurring the line between fan and creator. You're not just paying for a ticket anymore, you're investing in a filming location.
That is a cynical way to put it, but
yes,
in a way, that's the model. It turns every experience into a potential asset.
Now, if we stopped here, we'd have a pretty complete picture of a tech company that wants you to use AI to make content. A very interesting one, but still, a content platform.
Right, a media company.
But we don't stop here. The source material takes another sharp turn. We go from AI tech to border politics to sports, and then suddenly we're talking about missionary work.
This is the part of the source material that really made me sit up and take notice. This is what they call the Witness and Wellness Mission.
It's a wild integration. The source details these weekend film mission trips that are taking place in Minneapolis in February 2026.
Specifically in the Whittier neighborhood. And the details are very, very specific. It's $299, which includes your food and lodging.
That's cheaper than most film workshops.
Much cheaper. But listen to what they're actually doing. It's described as guerrilla-style filmmaking combined with acts of social justice.
Guerrilla style. That implies raw, unpolished, real, no big crews, no fancy lights.
Just you and your camera. And this brings us right back to the universal plug concept, the physical action.
The execution part.
Yes, they aren't just going there to film poverty from a safe distance like it's a nature documentary. The itinerary includes Friday vigils, Saturday food dispatch, and Sunday worship.
And clearing vents for the elderly. That detail just stuck with me. It is such a specific, tangible, unglamorous task.
It connects back to that response partner idea we talked about. The participants are paired with a dispatch proxy. They are executing real-world tasks to help people, delivering food, doing wellness checks, but they're also documenting it.
So is it charity or is it content? Where's the line?
The source argues it is both. It has to be both.
Yeah.
It is the physical manifestation of witnessing.
Okay.
You aren't just watching the news about a struggling neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
You are there. You are delivering the meal. And you are telling the story from a place of direct experience.
It reframes the role of the camera then. The camera isn't a barrier between you and the subject. It's a tool for service. It's about documenting the truth of the neighborhood while you are actively trying to improve it.
And think about the AI fatigue we started with. An AI can write a brilliant, empathetic script about poverty in Minneapolis.
Sure.
But an AI cannot clear a vent for an elderly person. An AI cannot hand a sandwich to a hungry person.
Only a human can do that.
Only a human. And that is why this mission trip concept is the ultimate proof of concept for their entire philosophy. It requires you to show up. It requires physical presence. It validates the human effort in an age of automation.
It's a heavy concept, but it really does seem to be the core of what SMS Novel Films is pitching here. Creating, earning, and serving.
And they wrap up the broadcast with one final pop culture touchstone that I think perfectly illustrates their philosophy on storytelling.
Kanye.
Yeah.
The source mentions 50,000 searches for Kanye apology.
He is attempting, once again, to reconcile his public image. It's a cycle we have all seen before. But listen to how they interpret it. They don't call him a villain. They don't call him a hero.
What do they call him?
They call him a permanent prompt.
A permanent prompt, that is. Wow, that is a way to look at a human being.
It implies that his life, his chaotic narrative, his very public struggles with mental health, they're all prompts for us, the public, to discuss these larger issues. He is a generator of conversation, whether you love him or hate him.
And the takeaway isn't really about Kanye, it's about the listener.
Exactly. The source claims everyone has a novel inside them. They encourage listeners to use the AI tools, the same ones used for the border thriller or the sports documentary, to write their own life stories.
So whether you need to write an apology like Kanye or write a comeback story.
The tools are there for you. It parallels the Kanye narrative arc perfectly. The fall, the rise, the apology, the attempt at redemption. We are all living that script in our own ways.
And we all have the power to edit it.
That is the message. You are not just a character in the story. You are the writer. You're the director.
So let's zoom out. We've covered a lot of ground here, a lot of different topics. We have the universal plug, fixing the AI execution gap. We have the news as a prompt for creation. We have mission trips as a form of filmmaking. What are the big economic and cultural implications here?
I think what we're seeing is the emergence of a new economy of participation, a witness economy. Look at the business model presented in the source.
Okay.
You have smsnovel.com for creation, using AI to generate scripts and books. You have smsnovel.com/story for earning, monetizing your coverage of sports or news or local events. And you have smsnovel.com events for service, the physical mission trips.
It's a tripod. Create, earn, serve.
And notice the direction of travel. It is moving away from passive consumption. The old model, the model of, say, 2010 to 2024 was read the news, watch the game, maybe donate to a charity online with a click.
Right. Sit back, click, like, subscribe. Very detached.
The new model, the witness model that's being proposed is write the script based on the news, film the game, and commentate on it yourself, go to the city and hand out the food in person.
It requires you to show up in every single case.
That is the human-in-the-loop philosophy in a nutshell. The host, Jono, uses that tagline. The harvest of stories is plentiful, and we are looking for the laborers.
That's a biblical reference, isn't it, from the book of Matthew, I think.
It is. The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. He is completely recontextualizing it for the creator economy. The stories are out there, at the border, on the basketball court, in the struggling neighborhoods. But they need laborers, creators, witnesses to go and harvest them.
It suggests that the future isn't about better AI. It's not about getting to AGI. It's about building better bridges between AI and humans.
Precisely. That's the whole point. Whether it's the universal plug helping you find a plumber or a filmmaker delivering food in Minneapolis, the value is in the human presence. The AI can write the script, but the AI cannot clear the vent. The AI cannot hold the hand of someone in a nursing home.
The AI cannot stand in line at the DMV.
It cannot stand in line at the DMV. We are the execution engine.
We are.
And that is a really hopeful message, I think, in a world where we are constantly terrified of being replaced by machines.
Yeah.
This philosophy says, you cannot be replaced. Your physical presence is essential. But there's a catch.
Oh, what's the catch?
You have to get up and move. You cannot be essential from your couch.
You have to get off the couch.
You have to get off the couch.
Okay, let's recap what we've covered today. It's been a lot. We started with the date, January 27, 2026. We looked at the firing of Greg Bovino at the border and the rise of Shedder Sanders in the NFL. And we unpacked this universal plug technology that uses humans to do what AI can't.
And we looked at the tool set that this source material provides to you, the listener. A phone that is now a cinema camera. An AI that is now a co-author, a website that is a distribution network.
It's a lot to process. It's a whole new way of looking at the world. But I think the message is clear. The tools are there, but they need hands to hold them. They need a human to operate them.
I think so. The value is in the action.
So here is my question for you listening right now. If every headline is a prompt, what is the story of your life right now? What's the headline? Are you just watching the news, just letting it wash over you? Or are you ready to witness it? Are you ready to document it, to be a part of it?
And I'll add this final thought. In a world of black box AI where we increasingly don't know how or why decisions are made, perhaps the most radical act you can do is simply showing up in person, to stand in line, to deliver food, to tell the truth. That is something an algorithm will never, ever be able to do.
That's it for today. Thanks for taking the deep dive with us. See you in the real world.
See you there. Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine for a second, and really, I want you to try and visualize this, that you have a button.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if it's a physical button on your desk or, a glowing icon on your phone screen or just a mental trigger you pull. But the second you press it, a real live human being pops up on a video screen.
And we have to be very specific about what we mean by real here, because that definition has gotten, well, it's gotten a little blurry lately, hasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I'm not talking about a chatbot with a cute little avatar. I'm not talking about a sophisticated large language model pretending to be a support agent named Steve.
Right.
And I am definitely not talking about one of those automated voice menus telling you to listen closely because our options have changed.
Oh, the worst. And they never have changed.
They never have.
Yeah.
It's been the same since 2005. No, I'm talking about a living, breathing human being, a person with a pulse, with empathy, and with a camera. And this person is ready to do, well, almost anything you ask.
It really sounds like something out of an old sci-fi novel, like a fantasy from the early days of the internet, before algorithms and bots took over every single interaction.
It feels almost retro, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like we're circling all the way back to the beginning.
We are.
Exactly. But here's the kicker, and this is where it gets really, really interesting. This person isn't just there to chat or be a therapist, though. I suppose they could do that too.
Yeah.
They are ready to physically stand in a line for you in the freezing cold. They're ready to edit your video while you watch them do it, pixel by pixel.
In real time.
In real time. They're ready to be your eyes and ears at a festival 3,000 miles away. Or, and this is the one that really just stopped me in my tracks, they're simply there to watch you work so you don't get distracted.
It's the ultimate concierge service, but completely democratized. I mean, this isn't just for billionaires with a staff of 20 anymore. It's for, anyone.
Right. And today we are doing a deep dive into a service that claims to be exactly that. It's called SMS Novel, and they are pitching themselves as the cure for a very modern, very specific disease, AI fatigue.
Which is such a real, palpable phenomenon right now. I think if you just look at the cultural temperature, people are absolutely drowning in automated responses. We're all sick of it.
We really are. And their solution, a human on standby, 24/7 live human facilitation. We have a massive stack of information on their services, their pricing, their whole philosophy. And I have to tell you, when I first looked at the source material, I genuinely thought, is this real? Is this some kind of performance art piece? Because the scope of what they offer is just, it's staggering.
It is. And what's so fascinating here is that they aren't offering some new high-tech piece of software. They aren't selling a new microchip or a VR headset.
Right.
They're offering the oldest technology in the world, human connection. But they're delivering it through a modern on-demand pipeline.
So our mission today is to unpack this. We're going to look at everything from their anti-AI philosophy to the nitty-gritty of their creative sprints and even their incredibly bold claim to be a 9/11 alternative.
That is the one we really need to scrutinize. That is a very high-stakes claim to make.
Extremely high stakes. But before we get to the life and death stuff, let's just sit with that core concept for a minute. The human on standby.
It's such a powerful inversion of where the entire market is going. I mean, think about it. Right now, every single tech company in Silicon Valley is trying to put AI on standby.
Yes.
You have Copilot, you have Gemini, you have ChatGPT, all these non-human entities just waiting for your prompt. They are desperate for you to talk to the machine. And SMS Novel is just flipping the whole board over. They're saying, no, what you actually crave, what you actually need is a person.
And the way you access that person is it's shockingly simple. According to the source, you just type #2 in their live chat, or you call an 800 number, and the wait time listed.
What is it? 5 minutes? That's shorter than the hold time for my bank? Honestly, that's shorter than the time it takes me to find a movie to watch on Netflix.
Much, much shorter. And the interface isn't some clinky text box. It's a live video request. You see them. They see you if you want them to. It's a facilitator model. The source compares the host to a personal assistant, but that feels like a huge understatement. It says they can create or do anything, in person or online.
That word universal is doing a lot of heavy lifting there, isn't it? Usually when a company says we do everything, they actually do nothing well. That's the classic jack of all trades, master of none trap.
Right, I was skeptical too.
But when you look at their service list, they really are trying to cover the entire spectrum of human needs. From, like you said, emergency food delivery in a blizzard to just helping you finish reading a dense book.
So let's unpack that philosophy a bit more. The source explicitly mentions AI fatigue. Do you think people are really at a breaking point with automation? Or is this just, clever marketing speak?
Oh, I think it's absolutely real. I think we passed the breaking point about 6 months ago. Just think about the last time you tried to resolve a complex billing issue. You call the number, you talk to a bot that doesn't understand your accent, then you get passed to a slightly smarter bot that asks you for your account number 3 times.
Even though you already typed it in.
Exactly, and then you get an email that says, do not reply. The friction is immense. It makes you feel small, it makes you feel like you don't matter.
Yeah.
SMS Novel is betting that people are willing to pay a premium or even just a standard fee to cut through all of that noise and just say to a human, please, just help me fix this.
It's the craving for agency. That's what it is. When you're stuck in a loop with a bot, you have zero agency. You are powerless. When you talk to a human, you have a negotiator, you have an ally.
Precisely. And it's so interesting because they aren't actually anti-technology. They use something the source calls SMS Novel HAXAI.
Right, that caught my eye. It sounds like a contradiction at first. We're anti-AI, but here's our AI.
But the human manages it, so it's not you fighting with the AI, it's the human facilitator using the AI on your behalf.
Which is a brilliant bridge. It's a total game changer. It acknowledges that AI tools are powerful. They can code, they can write, they can analyze massive amounts of data, but using them can be overwhelming or super technical.
You have to know how to prompt. You have to know the parameters. It's a skill.
It is a skill. So they place a human in the middle to handle all that complexity. The human becomes the interface layer, an interface layer composed of flesh and blood.
It's acting as a buffer. The human absorbs the complexity so you don't have to. It's like having a translator for the machine world.
Okay, let's get into the specific services because this is where it gets really, really mind-blowing. They break this down into different streams or categories. The first one is what they call the digital and creative suite. And the one that jumped out at me immediately, mostly because of a recent trauma I had with my computer, was the tech support shadow.
This is a game changer for anyone who isn't tech savvy, or frankly, even for people who are tech savvy but are just tired of troubleshooting.
Tell me about it. The rate is listed at $50 an hour, and the description says, I stay on a dedicated call stream to troubleshoot your setup or software the moment a problem arises.
The moment it arises. Think about the difference between that and standard tech support. Standard support is reactive.
Totally.
You break something, you panic, you call, you wait on hold for 45 minutes listening to terrible music, you try to explain what you did, and they usually find a way to blame you.
Yes. Did you try turning it off and on again?
Right, but this shadow service is proactive. The person is there with you while you work.
It's like having an IT guy sitting in the chair right next to you, just waiting for something to go wrong.
Exactly. Let's say you're setting up a live stream for the very first time, or you're trying to install some complex piece of architecture software. Usually you'd be pausing a YouTube tutorial every 10 seconds, getting frustrated because the button in the video isn't where it is on your screen because the software updated last week.
You know, I want to circle back on that because I feel like we just breezed past how revolutionary that is. I was trying to set up a new microphone last week. Just a simple USB mic. And for some reason, my computer recognized it as a speaker.
Oh, the classic input-output loop. It's a nightmare, a total nightmare.
It was. I spent 2 hours reading forums from 2018. I watched 3 different videos where the guy didn't even get to the point until minute 12. And the whole time I'm just thinking, I would pay someone $50 right now just to look at my screen and click the right button for me.
And that's the thing. It's not just about getting the solution. It's about the anxiety regulation. When you are fighting with technology, your cortisol levels just spike. You feel stupid. You feel helpless. Having a calm voice on the line say, okay, I see what's happening. Don't worry. Open your sound settings. No, not that one. The legacy sound settings. That literally lowers your blood pressure.
That peace of mind alone seems worth the $50. It's not just tech support, it's insurance against frustration.
And it connects back to that idea of the time value of money, or maybe the time value of sanity. How much is an hour of your frustration worth? If you can pay someone to ensure a process goes smoothly, that's a rational economic decision. It's not lazy, it's efficient.
Then there's the creative sprint. This is a bit more, $60 an hour. They list things like graphic design, video editing, or content creation. But again, the key phrase is live screen sharing and instant feedback.
This eliminates the revision hell loop. We've all been there, right?
Yeah.
You hire a freelancer on a site like Upwork or Fiverr. They send you a first draft. You send an email back with notes. They misinterpret one of the notes. They send a new draft 3 days later, and it's still not right.
Oh, I know that loop so well. Can you make it pop?
What does pop mean?
I don't know, just, make it pop.
Exactly. With this, you're on the video call, you're watching their screen, you say, make that logo blue. They make it blue. You say, a little darker, more of a navy. They make it darker. Perfect. Done. It collapses a process that could take a week into a single hour.
It's collaboration in real time. You know, it strikes me that this is sort of what we used to have in offices. You just lean over and look over someone's shoulder.
That's a profound observation.
Remote work kind of killed that, and this service is bringing it back as a paid commodity.
We are monetizing the over-the-shoulder look. And for the freelancer, the person on the other end, it's actually safer too. Think about it. How many times have freelancers done 10 hours of work that the client ended up hating, and then the client refuses to pay for it?
Well, that's a great point.
With this model, the meter is running, the client is watching. If the client doesn't like the direction it's going, they stop it in minute 5, not after a full day of work has been wasted.
It aligns the incentives perfectly. You aren't paying for a product at the end. You are paying for the process as it happens.
Which is a much healthier way to work for both sides. It turns the transaction into a partnership instead of a gamble.
And speaking of monetizing things we usually do ourselves, look at this one. Web deep dive research, $35 an hour. The source says, intense live research for travel, products, or complex data queries delivered in real time.
Now, the skeptic might ask, and I certainly did at first, why on earth would I pay $35 an hour when Google is free and ChatGPT is $20 a month?
I asked myself that immediately. Why pay a human to search? We all have Google in our pockets. It's second nature.
But the answer, I think, lies in curation and synthesis. It's not about finding information. It's about finding the right information. If you are planning a trip to a region you've never been to before, or you're trying to find a very specific vintage car part, you can spend 4 hours just sifting through SEO spam websites. You know, the ones, the recipe blogs that have 10 pages of story before you get to the ingredients?
Or the review sites that are just AI-generated affiliate links. It's becoming almost impossible to find a genuine human opinion on the internet anymore. The web is full of ghosts.
Exactly. A human researcher, a skilled one, can cut through all of that. They can spot the fake reviews. They can cross-reference sources. They can make phone calls.
Verify. That's the key word there. An AI will hallucinate a restaurant that closed 3 years ago and tell you it has 5 stars. A human can call the number and see if anyone answers the phone.
Precisely. You are paying for truth and verification, not just data retrieval. You're paying for someone to discern good data from garbage data, and there's more garbage data out there than ever before.
And then the ultimate irony we touched on earlier, AI management. They list AI content request, bulk video, film, print, and AI film editing.
It's the human in the loop as a formal service. There are so many people, so many small business owners who know AI can help them, but they don't know how to prompt it. They don't know how to set up the parameters.
That's like having the keys to a Formula One car but not knowing how to drive a stick shift.
Perfect analogy. So you hire a human to be the pilot of the AI for you.
It's like hiring a chauffeur. You could drive the car, sure, but you'd rather sit in the back and get other work done. In this case, the car is the AI.
And this human on standby is the chauffeur. It's a very, very smart pivot. Instead of trying to fight the AI revolution, they're positioning themselves as the premium operators of it. It creates a job class that protects the human element while utilizing the machine's speed.
Okay, moving on from the purely digital stuff. This next section is where my jaw just hit the floor. The avatar experience. The category is live stream anywhere.
This is where we get into real sci-fi territory. This reminds me of that concept of a telematic existence. You're projecting your consciousness somewhere else.
Personal tour guide for $60 an hour. The description is simple but powerful. I take the mobile rig wherever you point.
Wherever you point. That implies a level of granular control that goes way beyond just watching a travel vlogger on YouTube.
Right. If you're watching a YouTube
Welcome
video
to SMS Novel.
you
If
see
you want
what
to type a
YouTuber
prompt,
wants you to see.
please do
They
so in
edit
the
out the
DM or
boring
chat.
parts, the ugly parts, they control the frame.
Of course.
But with this, you could say, hey, stop. Turn left down that little alleyway.
Yeah.
I want to see that vending machine up close. Zoom in on the price of that drink.
Think about the practical applications. Real estate is the most obvious one. Thinking of living in a new city, seeing the glossy photos of the house on Sora. But what's the walk to the subway station actually look like at 8 p.m. on a Tuesday?
Is it well lit? Is it noisy? Is there a construction site next door that they could forgot to mention in the listing?
Exactly. You can hire a proxy to walk that route for you in real time and show you the truth.
Or shopping. Imagine this. Go into that vintage store for me, pick up that leather jacket on the rack, show me the tag. Is it real silk lining? Can you feel it for me? Does it feel brittle?
It's telepresence. We've been promised these robot avatars for decades, the Boston Dynamics dogs or the Tesla bots walking around for us. But it turns out a human with a smartphone and a gimbal is a much cheaper and frankly more effective solution.
And it solves the latency issue. A human has intuition. A human knows how to navigate a crowd or ask for directions.
And think about the personal tour guide aspect for accessibility. Just imagine someone who is bedbound, someone who physically cannot travel due to illness or disability. The world has essentially shrunk down to the size of their room.
This service opens the world back up for them. They can walk through Central Park in the fall. They can visit the Louvre if there's a proxy available in Paris.
It transforms the act of travel from a physical act of moving your body to an experiential act of moving your attention. That is so meaningful. It's not just a gimmick. It connects you to the physical world through another person's consciousness.
And then there's the event proxy. $65 an hour. I attend local conventions or festivals as your representative.
This is huge for networking. Just imagine there's a critical trade show in Las Vegas. You can't fly out, it's too expensive, or you have kids at home, or you just can't get away.
Right.
So you hire a proxy, you have them walk the floor, you tell them, okay, go to booth 402, I see the rep there with the red tie, I want to talk to him. The proxy holds up the phone or the tablet, and you have the conversation live.
I'm still stuck on that event proxy idea. The source says, I talk to the people you want and see the things you choose. Let's role play this for a second.
Right.
Say there is a huge comic convention in San Diego. I can't go. I hire a proxy.
Okay, so you are sitting at your desk in, let's say, Chicago.
Right. I'm in Chicago. My proxy's in San Diego. I tell them, go to the artist alley. They walk there. I see the crowd on my screen. I see the incredible cosplay. I can hear the noise of the convention floor. It's totally immersive.
And then you see an artist you absolutely love. Maybe you know they have a limited edition print that's only available at the show.
I tell the proxy, walk up to that table, the one with the big space octopus poster.
Now here is the magic moment. Does the proxy just hand the phone to the artist? Or does the proxy act as a sort of mediator?
The source says, I talk to the people you want. So I have to assume they act as the translator, the go-between. Hi, my client on the video feed would like to ask you a question about your work.
That actually might be better than being there in person. If you're shy or if you have social anxiety, having a professional face to break the ice for you, that's a superpower.
It is. It's like having a Cyrano de Bergerac for networking. So you're essentially renting a body to carry your face around on a screen.
In a way, yes. And it democratizes access to these exclusive spaces. You don't have to buy the plane ticket, the hotel room, the overpriced convention food. You just pay the hourly rate for the time you need to be present.
It's fascinating and a little bit dystopian, but mostly just incredibly practical. But if you think that's wild, when do we get to the real-world logistics? They call this the handy stream.
This is one of the most unique offerings in their entire portfolio, I think.
$55 an hour. The description: manual labor, furniture assembly, or yard work performed live under your direction.
The under your direction part is the key differentiator. Usually you hire a handyman, you explain the job, and you trust them to know what to do. Here, the dynamic is completely different. It implies that you are the brain, and they are simply the brawn.
So maybe I know exactly how to fix the carburetor on my specific vintage motorcycle engine, but I just had shoulder surgery and my arm is in a sling.
Right, or you're out of town.
I could hire a handy stream person and just say, okay, take that wrench, the half-inch one, now turn that bolt a quarter turn to the left. No, the other one.
Or furniture assembly. Maybe you've locked the paper instructions, but you found a step-by-step video on YouTube. You can watch the video and direct the person in your living room. It's a very specific, very modern type of collaboration.
On the handy streams, the manual labor, I wanted to dig into that you direct the work aspect, because that sounds like it could go really wrong if I don't actually know what I'm doing.
Well, sure. I mean, if you tell them to cut the blue wire instead of the red one and the house explodes, I suppose that's on you. But I think the primary use case is more about preference and precision.
Like gardening.
That's a perfect example. You hire someone to weed your garden. Usually you come back home and they've pulled up your prize-winning petunias because they looked like weeds to them.
Oh, tragic. I've heard stories.
With the handy stream, you are on the video call, sitting on your porch with the lemonade. You say, okay, see that green shoot there? Keep that one, the spiky one right next to it. Pull that. You are gardening by remote control. You get the exact result you want without getting dirt under your fingernails.
It's micromanagement as a service.
It is. But you know what? Sometimes you need to micromanage. If you were setting up a store display or arranging furniture in a rental property you manage from afar, you need that vase exactly here, not 2 inches to the left.
It also covers local errand runner for $45 an hour. I will visit specific stores' landmarks to verify items or check stock.
This is the "is it actually there" service. In the age of constant supply chain issues and terrible inventory management, this is incredibly valuable.
Yeah.
Is the PS5 actually on the shelf at that Target? Don't trust the website. Go look for me.
In the errand runner, verifying items, the source mentions checking stock. I feel like this is a direct response to the ghost inventory problem online.
Oh, absolutely. The website says in stock. You get in your car, you drive 45 minutes across town, you get there, the shelf is empty, you find an employee and they just shrug and say, the system must be wrong.
Rage. Pure, unadulterated rage.
The errand runner prevents that rage. You pay $45, sure, but you save 90 minutes of driving, the cost of gas, and a whole lot of stress. And if the item is there, maybe they can just buy it for you right then and there.
It's about certainty. We live in such an uncertain world. SMS Novel is selling certainty in these small, bite-sized chunks.
And that is a commodity that is always in short supply. Always.
And then, my personal favorite, simply because of how brutally honest it is, the live line stander, $40 an hour.
It's converting money directly into time. It's the oldest trade in the book.
I will wait in any local queue, so you don't have to waste your time. The copy is just so blunt. I love it.
There is a deep psychological relief in this service. Standing in line is one of the most soul-sucking human experiences. You are powerless. You are stuck. You're just waiting. For $40, you are buying your freedom back. You can go get coffee, sit in your car, answer emails, and then just swap in at the last minute.
It really forces you to ask the question, what is an hour of your life worth? If you value your free time at more than $40 an hour, you're actually losing money by standing in that line yourself.
Exactly. It's simple economics. It's opportunity cost. But seeing it formalized like this live line stander really puts it in perspective. It allows you to be in 2 places at once. Your body is at the cafe working. Your proxy body is in the line at the DMV.
Now, we've talked about logistics and tech and all these practical things, but there is a softer, more emotional side of this service that I think is really, really important. Section 5 of our outline, human connection and wellness.
This is where the anti-AI mission really shines. This is where we see that it's not just about completing tasks. It's about presence, human presence.
They offer something called Body Doubling Productivity Partner. It's one of the cheaper services, $30 an hour. The description says, I provide focused presence to help you complete your own tasks. I will nudge you if I see you low focus.
For our listeners who might not be familiar with the term, body doubling is a concept that's very popular in the ADHD community, but it works for everyone. The idea is that simply having another person present, even if they aren't helping you with the task, even if they are just quietly reading a book in the corner, it creates an accountability field.
It anchors you. That's the word I'd use.
Yes, if I'm sitting alone in my office, I might get distracted and scroll Twitter for an hour. But if I'm on a live video call with someone who's just watching me work politely, I'm going to do the work. I don't want to let them down. It mimics the environment of a library or coffee shop, but it's tailored just for you.
It's renting a super ego.
Yeah.
It's outsourcing your willpower for an hour.
And at $30 an hour, it's cheaper than a life coach. It's a digital study buddy. It's a very gentle, very effective form of discipline.
They also list mock interview language practice for $45 an hour.
Again, the on-demand aspect is what's key here.
Wow.
Usually, to find a language tutor, you have to go to a specialized site like italki or Reply. You have to book a slot 3 days in advance. You have to commit to a whole curriculum.
Right.
Here, you can just wake up, realize you have a big presentation in Spanish in 2 hours, and you're terrified. Hit the button and say, talk to me in Spanish for the next 45 minutes. Ask me anything.
It removes the friction of scheduling. It's impulsive self-improvement.
And then there's the senior support and book study. And the listing says, senior citizen in need of video guidance or wellness check.
This one, this one hit me at the feels a little bit. We have a documented epidemic of loneliness, especially among the elderly.
We do. And often seniors don't need care in the strict medical sense. They just need someone to help them figure out why the TV remote isn't working, or just someone to read a book with so they can talk about it.
The source mentions book study or language partner. Imagine being an elderly person living alone and you just want to discuss the chapter of the mystery novel you just read. You can press a button and have that connection.
It commodifies companionship, which sounds cold on the surface, but in practice, it's providing a vital service that our society is increasingly failing to provide organically. Families are spread out, neighbors don't talk to each other anymore. This service fills that gap. For some people, it's a lifeline.
Now, speaking of vital services, we have to talk about the most serious and maybe the most controversial part of this deep dive, the emergency services.
This is where SMS Novel pivots from convenient to critical. And frankly, this is where they are taking their biggest swings. This is the boldest part of their entire platform.
They explicitly list, and I'm quoting here, if 911 is down or overloaded, that is a massive statement to make.
It implies a failure of public infrastructure. It suggests that this private service is positioning itself as a legitimate backup safety net for the entire 911 system.
The services listed under this umbrella include emergency food delivery, placing of phone calls, personal assistance, and visual aid.
Just imagine a scenario where there's a massive regional power outage or a hurricane or a blizzard. We saw this in Texas with the big freeze or in New York with the floods. 911 centers get completely overwhelmed. You call and you get a busy signal. This service is saying, call us. We can't arrest the bad guy or put out the fire, but we can help you coordinate. We can be your personal dispatcher when the public one is unavailable.
We can call your family for you. We can guide you to safety using your phone's camera.
It's a bold, bold value proposition. It's essentially the privatization of emergency dispatch services.
And looking at the source material, there is a very, very heavy focus on weather, specifically East Coast weather.
Yes, I noticed that too. The tags they use are incredibly specific.
Listen to this list of tags from the source. Snow, Manhattan blizzard, NY1 weather, Philly snow, DC snow, Boston blizzard. And they list specific news stations in New York, Philadelphia, Baltimore, D.C., Richmond, Norfolk, Pittsburgh, Raleigh.
This tells us exactly who their target demographic is, or at least where they are most operationally focused right now. They are positioning themselves as the snowstorm savior.
I want to go back to that weather list for a second. It was so specific. Manhattan blizzard, Philly snow. Why do you think they lean so hard into the winter storm angle?
Winter storms on the East Coast are unique kinds of events. They shut down infrastructure in a way that creates isolation very, very quickly. You can be in a high-rise in Manhattan surrounded by 8 million people, but if there is 2 feet of snow on the ground, you are completely stuck.
You can't get food. You might be worried about your elderly parents out in Queens, and you can't get to them.
And the delivery apps all stop working. Uber Eats and DoorDash, they just shut down in a blizzard.
That's right.
Exactly. The algorithmic services shut off to protect their liability. But a human on standby service, they might operate on a different risk model. Or, more likely, the service they're really offering during a blizzard isn't travel, it's connection and coordination.
I can't get to you, but I can stay on the line with you while you wait for the power to come back on.
Or, I am a local host in your neighborhood who is willing and able to walk 2 blocks through the snow to bring you milk and batteries. By having this decentralized network of hosts, they might have someone who is literally down the street from you, whereas the centralized services are completely paralyzed.
It leverages the distributed nature of the gig economy, but applies it to crisis management.
And just consider the mental state of someone alone in a blackout. It's terrifying, having a calm human on the line who can look up information for you, who can tell you when the power is expected to be back on. That is incredibly valuable for peace of mind.
They also use this slogan, which is interesting. Using investigative cinema tech to keep our community safe.
Investigative cinema tech. That's a very evocative phrase. It sounds almost noir, like something from a detective movie.
What do you think that actually means in practice?
Based on the live stream anywhere and visual aid services, I think it refers to the use of high-definition mobile video technology to document and observe. It elevates a simple video call into a tool for evidence, for security, for witnessing.
So if you feel unsafe walking home at night, you can have a witness on the line with you. A witness who is recording, who is professional, and who is watching your back.
Exactly. It's a digital bodyguard. They can't physically intervene, of course, but their presence and the fact that they are recording is a powerful deterrent. And in a crisis, information is the most valuable commodity. Show me what the road looks like. Show me if the power lines are down on my street. A live video feed is truth.
It's citizen journalism, but privatized for your own personal safety.
That's a very succinct way to put it. I think that's exactly right.
So we've covered the what and the why. Let's look at the how. How does this business actually work? Because the transaction flow described in the source is Well, it's unique. It's not like any SaaS subscription I've ever seen.
It's very transactional, almost like a street performer or a Twitch streamer. But for private, real-world services, it completely bypasses the usual corporate invoicing structures.
Step 1 is consult first. You get a free 5-minute live human video consultation.
That's the hook. That's the freemium model, but with people's time. But it's also absolutely necessary for trust. You need to verify that the person on the other end is real, that they're competent, and that they can actually do what you want them to do.
Right. You wouldn't hire an event proxy without talking to them first to see if they're presentable and articulate.
Of course not.
Step 2 is lock the clock. It says, and I'm quoting, send the hourly rate via the stream tip jar.
A tip jar. That language is so interesting. It suggests they are using existing platforms, maybe something like YouTube Super Chats or a similar payment gateway built for creators. It feels very grassroots, very startup-y.
And then step 3, task initiation. The 60-minute timer starts the moment that payment is confirmed.
It's clean, it's simple. Pay, start, stop. No contracts, no monthly retainers, no complicated service agreements. Just, I need you now. Here's the money. Go.
And the pricing is incredibly transparent, which I appreciate. They say it ranges from $10 to $65 per hour, and you can just type request for quote.
That transparency is a huge part of the appeal. In the corporate world, pricing is often a black box. You have to contact sales and talk to 3 different people just to get a price. Here, it's a menu. It treats these complex human services like takeout food.
And accessibility seems to be a major priority, too. We talked about the chat interface, but the source makes a big deal about the phone number, 800-915-7920.
That is absolutely crucial for the senior demographic we mentioned earlier. My grandmother isn't going to type #2 in a YouTube chat, but she knows how to dial an 800 number. By keeping that legacy technology, the telephone, they open this market to millions of people who are left behind by apps.
It effectively lowers the barrier to entry to 0. If you can use a phone, you can use this service.
And notice they also specifically list visual aid print shopping support. That phone line isn't just for booking. It's a lifeline for the visually impaired. You can be on the phone and say, I'm holding a can of soup. Can you read the label for me? Is this the tomato or the chicken noodle? Call the number. Ask the human.
It's so simple, but for someone with low vision, that's independence.
That's the word for it, independence.
Yeah.
Paradoxically, by depending on this remote human, you gain independence in your local physical life. You don't have to wait for a family member to come over just to read your mail. You hire the human on standby for 5 minutes and you're done.
Okay, let's zoom out. We've been looking at the trees. Let's look at the whole forest for a minute. What does the existence of a service like SMS Novel tell us about the world we're living in right now?
It tells us that we have systematically optimized the humanity out of our daily lives, and now we are absolutely desperate to buy it back.
Wow, that cuts deep. But it feels true.
Think about it. We spent the last 20 years building apps specifically to avoid talking to people. We built Uber so we didn't have to call a dispatcher.
Yeah.
We built DoorDash so we didn't have to talk to a waiter. We built Amazon so we didn't have to talk to a shopkeeper. We thought we were buying convenience.
And now we miss them. Is that it?
We miss the function of them. We miss the flexibility. An app can only do what it's programmed to do. If you have a request that is 1% outside the standard parameters, the app breaks. It just says, error. A human adapts. SMS Novel is selling adaptability.
It's that universal support promise again. Create or do anything.
Exactly. You can't ask ChatGPT to go check if you left your iron on at home. You can't ask an Uber driver to wait in line for you at a concert, not officially anyway. This service formalizes the entire odd job economy into a professional, on-demand infrastructure.
You know, it really is the ultimate luxury. In a world saturated with AI, the ultimate status symbol isn't a smarter computer. It's a human being who listens to you.
And who does only what you ask. That immediate, undivided human attention. That is becoming the scarcest resource on the entire planet.
It's funny, we started this deep dive talking about AI fatigue. Do you think this is a temporary backlash, a fad? Or is this the beginning of a permanent human premium economy?
Oh, I think it's the latter. I really do. As AI gets cheaper and more ubiquitous, human-made and human-facilitated are going to become premium labels. Just like handmade furniture costs more than IKEA.
Right.
Human-verified research will cost more than a quick AI search. Human-guided shopping will be a luxury tier above just clicking add to cart.
So SMS Novel is essentially the vanguard of this new human premium sector.
They are early adopters of the counter trend. They saw everyone else running toward the robots, and they said, you know what? We're going to run back toward the people.
And the simplicity of it is what really sticks with me. No complex onboarding process, no creating a profile, no uploading a photo. The deep dive doesn't mention any of that. It's just call this number or type #2.
It respects the user's time. And in today's world, that is the rarest thing of all.
As we start to wrap up, I'm thinking about the name itself, SMS Novel. It's an interesting choice. Novel implies a story, a narrative.
It does. And every single interaction we've described here is a little story, isn't it? A mini narrative with a problem and a solution, a character and a helper.
And SMS implies that old school text-based simplicity.
Hmm.
But they've evolved it into this rich live video experience.
It's a bridge between the old web and the future. It's like they're saying, we are writing the story of your day together with you.
Welcome to SMS Novel. If you want to type a prompt, please do so in the DM or chat.
I have a guy for that because I have a host for that.
I'll have my host call your host.
Oh no, I can hear it now. That's horrifying.
But seriously, think about the exclusivity of attention. In the Victorian era, having a valet or a lady's maid was the ultimate mark of status. Someone whose entire job was to attend to you and your needs. We lost that with the rise of the middle class and rising labor costs. Technology tried to replace it with Siri and Alexa. But Siri doesn't care if you're having a bad day.
Siri doesn't have empathy. Siri doesn't feel the cold while waiting in line for you to get concert tickets.
This service brings back the valet, the maid, the courier, the town crier, all these old roles, but it packages them in these neat 60-minute slices. It allows regular people to feel that level of dedicated support, if only for an hour at a time.
It's the democratization of the entourage.
That is the headline right there. The democratization of the entourage.
So, to our listener, think about your day today. Think about that moment you got frustrated with a phone menu. Think about the task you've been putting off because you just need someone to sit there with you while you do it. Think about the place you wish you could visit but can't.
There's a human on standby for that.
It's a wild concept. It feels futuristic and archaic at the exact same time.
It's deeply, deeply human.
Before we sign off, I want to leave you with one final provocative thought. We've talked about this as a service you can buy, but flip it around. As AI takes more and more jobs, as automation takes over more routine tasks, will services like this become the primary way that humans work?
That is the big question, isn't it? Are we moving toward a gig economy 2.0, where instead of driving cars or delivering food, we are renting out our consciousness? Are we all going to be humans on standby for each other?
I'll be your eyes in New York for an hour if you'll be my hands in London for an hour.
A global peer-to-peer exchange of human presence.
Now that is a future worth thinking about. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the human on standby.
It's been a pleasure, a really fascinating topic.
Stay curious.
I used to think maybe it'd be
See you next time.
Bye for now.
if Thomas didn't miss. But then I realized it wasn't Thomas' job. It will be that of Jesus. And I couldn't look away, for Sumter is here. Ride with my people still hurting. Plan A was peace, somehow we on plan B. Many I believe. Slow down, everybody pay. What makes a leader lose the sound of human breath? What makes a city feel the winter in its chest? Sirens hum a lullaby we never asked to hear. Kids in the backseat learn to fear before they learn, yeah. Renee good drove love like it might run out. Hands on the wheel, heart still poured out. Now there's an empty chair at the table tonight, and a daughter asking heaven why. Alex Brady, just Alex Brady. Scrubs on tired eyes, doing what was needed. Another name we say softly, slowly. Another candle shaking in the cold breeze. They say numbers, they say size, but a life ain't data when a mother cries. Minneapolis don't need to choose a team. We just tryna sleep without hearing scream. This city hurting, don't turn us against us. Grief don't compete, it just finds us. Two names that go under the same gray sky. Different stories, same goodbye. Minneapolis, hold on tight. We all freezing in the same long night. Fall in winter, deep in our bones. Built their homes while we slept in the cold. From red lines drawn, the doors kicked in. History don't shout, it just repeats again. Power speak loud when it forgets our face. Uses old fear just to keep its place. Raids on the block, helicopters hum. Neighbors disappear and no one's known. And if you think the storm only hits them, wait till it turns and it finds your friends. When rights fade quiet, that's how it starts. A slow erosion of human hearts. Minneapolis left holding the bill for promises broken, the streets gone still. Renee Good wasn't running from love, she was running with it, that's enough. Alex Brady wasn't chasing fame, just trying to get folks through another day. Say the name, but don't weaponize. Say them like prayers, not battle cries. That's every loss, these the same size holes. No matter the badge, no matter the role. I don't need a villain to feel this safe. I don't need a crown for someone to break. I just need the truth, quiet and plain. That this much pain can't be normal, man. There's a difference between justice and rage, between being heard and tearing the page. We can mourn without hardening our heart. We can name the harm without tearing apart. Cold city, warm hand, that's how healing begins. Paper trails, court dates, words on the screen. Truth buried under spectacle and sheen. Power loves noise, loves smoke, loves doubt. While real people bleed quietly out. It's not left or right when the sirens sing. It's a human cost to everything. And history's watching how we respond. With clenched fists, an open palm.
Minneapolis, don't lose your soul. Don't let the cold make your heart grow old. We mourn them all, we say their names. We don't trade lives, we don't keep score of pain. 2 lives gone, 1 city scarred. Still believe in mercy's not too far.
Light a candle. Grief is heavy,
but love's a choice.
Minneapolis, still here. Still here.
This is Joe from SMS Novel. Hope you are doing well. I was chilling, relaxing, and I was watching a replay of Saturday Night Live from last Sunday, and I saw one of the cast members. I don't know his name, but he's from Minnesota, and he was doing a commentary on some of the ICE raids and some of the situations that are going on in Minneapolis. And part of the joke, the running joke, was he kind of kept on showing, as you could see in the video, this ICE agent slipping constantly. And kind of the brunt of the joke was kind of this constant slipping. So I thought that it would just be cool to do a short little commentary on what I feel and see is happening with ICE in Minneapolis and how it's going to continue, but also directly related to kind of this funny, I shouldn't say funny because obviously you don't want anybody to be hurt, but kind of this funny falling of this particular ICE agent, because for someone like myself who has a background in theology and the Bible and seminary, when I saw it, it made me think about a Bible passage. Now, I don't read the Bible every day, but I've read it enough to kind of know really unique passages and things that it says. I kind of can pull things out that most people wouldn't know. So seeing this ICE agent slip, it made me think about Psalm 73, which is one of the most amazing, beautiful passages about ultimate divine justice, when God brings justice to the world. And it actually talks about slipping in verse 18. But I kind of, since I'm going to be replaying this falling all night, and please like and subscribe as well, I thought it would be good just to read the whole passage and kind of just relate it to what's happening with our government, with ICE, with Trump, from a biblical Christian perspective. And so, let me read verse 1, Psalm 73. It says, "Surely God is good to Israel, to those who are pure in heart. But as for me, my feet had almost stumbled. My steps had nearly slipped, for I envied the arrogant when I saw the prosperity of the wicked." Let me stop right there. I'm going to do some commentary. Why not? This is commonly known, to be a psalm of Asaph. And Asaph here is beholding the prosperity of the wicked, the unrighteous, the ungodly, and he's starting to have some doubt and some questions and some concerns. He goes on to say, verse 4, "They have no struggle in their death. Their bodies are well fed. They are free from burdens others carry. They are not afflicted like other men. Therefore, pride is their necklace. A garment of violence covers them. From their prosperity proceeds iniquity. The imaginations of their heart runs wild. They mock and speak with malice. With arrogance, they threaten oppression. They set their mouths against the heavens, and their tongues strut against the earth." This seems to be written explicitly for people like Donald Trump, who seem to be free from the burdens that most of us carry. He never suffered or struggled with poverty or homelessness or not having enough to eat. He seems definitely well fed. He doesn't carry the burdens of most regular Americans. He has pride covering him like a necklace, a garment of violence. We see what he just did in Venezuela. From their prosperity proceeds iniquity. The more prosperous they become, the more evil they become. The imaginations of their heart run wild. How crazy it is to think that this president would take Greenland. They mock and speak with malice. With arrogance, they threaten oppression. They set their mouths against the heavens, and their tongues strut across the earth. This is MAGA in a nutshell. Verse 10, "So their people return to this place and drink up waters in abundance. The wicked say, 'How can God know? Does the Most High have knowledge? Behold, these are the wicked, always carefree as they increase their wealth.'" Basically, the Bible says in the Psalms, that in the wicked, there's no thought of God. The wicked have no thought of God. They don't consider eternal judgment, the work of Christ, that they're going to be held accountable one day, that God is watching. These things don't enter their minds, enter their thoughts. And when it's brought up, it doesn't stay. That thought doesn't stay. That eternal divine reality doesn't really register with them because they are wicked and ungodly. Verse 13, Asaph says, "Surely in vain I have kept my heart pure. In innocence I have washed my hands, for I am afflicted all day long and punished every morning." I think about the people in Minneapolis who are simply just living their lives in innocence. But every day that ICE is there, they're afflicted, they're punished every morning. Asaph says, "If I had said I will speak this way, then I would have betrayed your children." So here Asaph is having questions about the justice of God. God, where is your justice that the wicked, the unrighteous, the evil, Donald Trump, this wicked administration seems to be prospering? There seems to be no one that can stop it. Asaph says, basically, if I would have expressed this doubt in God, I would have caused your children to go astray. Verse 16, he says, "But when I tried to understand all this, it was troublesome in my sight until I entered God's sanctuary. Then I discerned their end." So it seems as if Asaph kind of had a revelation or a moment of devotion, or he drew closer to God. And he says, "I didn't really understand what was happening until I drew closer to God." And that's really true because God is pure light. So when you draw closer to him, you see things more clearly, right? And verse 18 is the passage that I'll stop at. Well, actually, 18 through 20. He says, surely you, God, set them on slick ground. You cast them down into ruin. How suddenly they are laid waste, completely swept away by terrors, like one waking from a dream. So you, O Lord, awaken and despise their form. God says that he has put the wicked on slick ground, just like this constant repetition of this ICE agent busting his ass. Asaph is saying, I think I understand now. God, you are letting the wicked run like Rosemary's Baby, but you've only allowed them to run so that they can slip and slick ground, which is your truth. It says you cast them down to ruin, how suddenly they are laid waste. My dear friend, I'm not going to go deeper into theological stuff. I'm just going to say this. There is a payday and it's coming someday. There is a payday and it's coming someday. Someday. Maybe Sunday, I don't know. God sees, God knows. And just like this agent busting his ass on slick ground, Donald Trump, MAGA, the unrighteous, those who pervert justice, the only reason they're allowed to do this is so that in due time, them busting their ass and slipping will be seen to all. Thank you so much. Please pray if you are a believer for the people in Minneapolis. Please pray for the people that are affected by ICE raids. Please pray for the people that are hurting because of unjust policies of Trump. Please pray for the victims of the Trump administration. And most importantly, let's thank God, because God knows what he's doing. And he knows that soon all the wicked will fall. Thank you so much.
Yeah. This is dedicated to all of my friends in North Philadelphia. You know we may have a different faith, but I care so much about you. Holla at me. Yeah. Yeah. Salam, salam, I love you, Sabah. You worship Allah, I worship Abba. You follow the moon, well I follow the sun. But let me holler at you before this life is done. You pray to the east, I pray to the west. You trust in your works, I trust in his death. But brother, what is left at the final breath? Without Christ in your life is like lifeless. Without Christ in your life is like life. Come on. You could picture us rolling two brothers that could read each other's mind. Any place, any crime, situation, anytime. But you got addicted to making the cash. Serving fiends what they want, mostly cane and hash. Upstate for a bit, back home when you're done. Now you're claiming the law. No longer need the son, no longer need the one who we grew up with. I used to land the one whose hands were pierced for our iniquity. Now you're claiming me for idolatry. Cause I worship Christ as G-O-D. But it's gotta be he who died, revived, and gave his life for guys who got high fly. So brother, why? I ask why? How could Christ be the son? Because he is permeate. Job was done, so the boss paid the cost on the cross to get you up. So you need to drop before your heart stops. Come on. Salam, salam. You learn, say you worship Allah. Tu sei la fiamma che non muore. Dalle tenebre profonde sorgo e grido al mondo, gloria, ode al Redentore. Le stelle danzano al tuo nome santo, il mio petto esplode di gioia infinita. Vittoria, vittoria, tu sei la via, la verità, la vita. Salam, salam, I love you, Subhan. You worship Allah, you worship Abba. You follow the moon, well I follow the sun. But let me holler at you before this life is done. You pray to the east, I pray to the west. You trust in your works, I trust in his death. But brother, what is left at the final breath? Without Christ in your life, it's like lifeless. Without Christ in your life, it's like lifeless. Dear brother, it's out of love, I really mean it. Cause when I found Jesus Christ, I wish you would've seen it. This love had never felt so real, I thought that I was dreaming. I woke up in the morning, could've sworn I really seen him. As you can tell, this earth is in its best condition. So I just want you to hear from out of your disposition. With his position, he showed the white unknown a new vision. He came to save your soul, I'm letting you know what you've been missing. Salvation calls, it's for all his children. So won't you let him in and let him do his will. And you say you're meant for this world and you can't shake the feeling. You out here chasing these girls, I'm worried they're gonna kill you. You know you were in the wrong. I sit in this room knowing that the end is soon. I'm on NFN to choose life without eternal Christ. He came and died and paid the price so you can turn and make it right and we can have eternal life.
Salam, salam. Alaikum salam. You worship Allah. Sorge grido al mondo, gloria, gloria al Redentore. Le stelle danzano al tuo nome santo, oh, il mio petto esplodi di gioia infinita.